Help me, please. He pulls up his horse. The sun stands at zenith. The dusty road into town burns like a skillet. A girl lies collapsed by the roadside, lips cracked, eyes lost from thirst. He hands her his canteen. She drinks, hands trembling. Her breath is hoarse. Could you take me into town? Yes. He lifts her onto the saddle, seats her in front, keeps the reins, and urges the horse on. His name is Cole Hart, a bounty hunter retired after years roaming the West. An old scar under the ribs. A bullet that once sat in his left shoulder all winter. Enough. He has chosen to stop. He is riding to the town of Dry Willow to take possession of a small farm he has just bought. A strip of flat earth, a shallow well that needs dredging, a one-room timber house, an old horse shed. A life of quiet, no gunshots, no whiskey noise, no midnight banjo. At least he hopes so. The general store shows first, then the smithy, the little silver-roofed church. The sign Sheriff hangs crooked on the porch row. He brings her into the only diner. The old proprietress brings warm water, cornbread, a bowl of bean soup. The girl eats slowly, eyes never leaving the window. What's your name? He asks softly. She hesitates. Call me Alara. Alara, I'm Cole. She nods. Says no more. Asks no more. Her shadow is like a shadow not yet named. Something hard bulges in her shirt on the left side of her chest. Whenever strangers pass outside, she puts her hand there. He sees. He does not ask. He once learned how to let a question sleep when the person before him is not ready to wake it. That afternoon, he collects the deed from the land office. Red earth, hot wind whipping dry grass against his trouser legs. He borrows a small wagon from the smith to haul a few things. Lamp oil, salt, flour, a kitchen knife, a pair of cups. I can work to pay it back, he says. The smith chuckles and points at a pile out in the lot. Clear that scrap and we're square. He nods. The girl follows in silence. When the sun tilts, they reach the timber house. A low porch. A door that squeals. Inside smells of damp wood and dust. Hooks for coats still mark the wall. Someone once hammered in a nail to hang a brown hat. They're gone now. This place is Cole's. He knocks off dust, builds a fire, hangs the kettle. She helps. Wipes the table. Folds a blanket. Neither says much. Everything follows the tempo of two people who have strayed into each other's lives and don't yet know where to stand. Night falls. She asks to sleep on the long bench under the window. He spreads a blanket. Hangs a little bell at the door as an old habit. The first night is quiet. Only crickets. Next morning he goes to the well. The bucket jams. The rope is rotten. He replaces the rope, scoops the sand. She lights the stove, boils water. Cheap coffee smell, but warm. Where did you come from? He asks, eyes still on the bucket. From the road to the east. The answer drifts off like wind. And you? From many roads, he jokes, lightly. She nods. Quiet again. They are like two trees torn from old ground, trying to set new roots. He hands her a rake and points to the strip of earth by the shed. If you want to stay for now, help me with some things. When you're strong, you can move on. She looks at him, testing. I can cook, wash, mend. I'm used to working. He nods. Then stay a while. Days roll on. They set a new fence from slender logs. They scrub the stove. They stretch a clothesline from porch post to the spindly apple tree and hang the blankets. Ilara talks little, but her hands do not idle. She folds cloth with care, sharpens knives on wet stone, chops onions without letting her own tears fall. She won't go into town. Whenever wagon wheels clatter down the road, she pauses a beat, touches that hard lump under her shirt, then works on as if nothing happened. Cole pretends not to notice, but he notices everything. He has stalked tracks in the sand, heard a hammer cock behind a stand of cactus. He knows what a person running from something looks like, and he knows how to give them time to breathe. On the third night, they eat cornbread and beans. A quick shower passed and left the smell of wet dirt. "What did you do before this?" Ilara asks, low. "I hunted men for money. Years of it." He speaks while staring into the fire. "Then I quit. I got tired. I wanted to wake to chickens, not the cry of ravens in my head." She sets down her bread. "Do you regret it?" "There are a few names I wish I hadn't had to fire on. But out here, people don't leave you many choices." Wind slips through the door crack. She looks down at her hands. "If one day someone's past came to the door, what would you do?" He lifts his head. "I would see who that person is, and what the past demands. But I won't let anyone get killed on my doorstep." She nods. Her breath loosens a little. That night, she sleeps deep for the first time. A week goes by. Ilara leaves the old hat, someone else's, hanging on the nail. She keeps the spool of thread on the table. She laughs when flour jumps onto Cole's nose. Cole laughs too. A dry, unfamiliar sound, like an old horn blown again. They grow used to each other's habits. He rises early to walk the fence. She gathers kindling and warms the coffee. Toward evening, they fix the front door that squeals each time the hinge slips. Small things braid a thin cord between two strangers. Then one night, the moon thin as thread, Ilara stands at the door, one hand on the hard bulge in her shirt. "Cole," she says. He sets down the hammer and looks. "I need to tell you something." She opens her shirt, pulls out an old leather wrap. Inside lies an aged scrap of paper. Faded ink lines, a few cross marks, a small X like a fingernail. A map. "What is it?" he asks, though he already knows. "A gold mine map," she answers without blinking. "A regular at my place pushed this into my hands before they took him. He'd overheard a secret, men whispering about a spot up in the northern gorge. He was scared. One night he gave me this and told me to hide it. Next morning, he was gone. I heard the whispers. The gang had him. I ran. I didn't know who to give it to. I didn't trust anyone. I kept going until I collapsed on the road. You brought me into town. I thought you were good. I wanted to tell you sooner, but," she swallows, "I'm a saloon girl. No one believes a word I say. I feared you'd look down on me, feared you were one of them." Cole is silent a while. The bell on the door sways and chimes softly. He looks at the map, at her cracked hands. "You don't have to apologize for your past," he says. "We all have things we don't want to name. As for this, in the morning we'll go to Sheriff Thorne. He's an old friend. He'll know what to do, and he'll protect you." Ilara lets out a breath, as if she had set down a heavy stone. "Thank you," she says, eyes bright. "Tonight, lock the door and sleep." "I'll keep watch," Cole answers, laying a hand on the holster hanging by the door. He doesn't tell her the old habit remains. Before sleep, he always sits 10 minutes listening to the night, the wind, and any odd sound on the sand. That night, strange, night is thicker. The wind shifts. Dogs far off bark and stop. Cole rises, steps to the porch. The sky is veined with thin cloud. He smells sweat mixed with dust that doesn't belong to this house. A very old sensation touches the back of his neck. He blows out the lamp. "Ilara," he calls softly. "Get into the room. Lock the door. Don't open it unless you hear my voice." She understands. He takes the gun off its hook, sets a few spare rounds on the table. His back presses to the porch post. Silence stretches. Then a harsh voice from the yard. "Hey, house. We got business. Hand over the woman. She's holding something that ain't hers." Cole steps onto the porch. Moonlight cuts across his wide brim, carving his face into hard planes. He looks into the dark. 5, 6 horses. Guns glint. The leader wears a red neckerchief, a long scar down his cheek. "No woman here," Cole says, voice cold. "I live alone. I just bought this land to live quiet. You should ride on." The man with the scarf chuckles. Cole Hart. Bounty man over 3 counties. Lapdog of sheriffs, friend of the big boys. Think we don't know you? He spits. "That woman is in your house. Hand her over." With the map. Cole doesn't blink. "No." "Then we'll take it off your corpse." The leader nods. A man on the flank raises his gun, finger tightening on the trigger. Cole has been waiting for that elbow to draw back. As the sear clicks, he draws like thunder. The gunshot cracks. The flankman tumbles from the saddle. Cole dives inside, slams the door, drops the bar. A round slams into the wood. Window glass bursts. Shards bite the post. Ilara holds her breath in the room. "Down." He snaps. Gunfire rips from the yard. Cole slides behind the table, feeds rounds, returns fire through the door gap. The wallboards splinter. Wood dust rises. "Cole Hart," roars the scarfed man. "Give her up and I spare your house. If not, I'll burn it. I'll sift the gold from the ashes. Fire. If they burn it, the night wind will carry flame fast. Dry wood. Ilara in the bedroom. Cole weighs it in one breath. Gunfire will bring Thorne's men if it carries to town. He needs time. He needs the fire outside. He shouts, "Listen, I won't hand anyone over, but I'll talk. Your boss and 2 men come inside. The rest hold in the yard. Step in and put your guns on the table. If you want the map, talk to me like men." A pause. Whispering outside. The scarfed man calculates. He fears if he sets the house alight, the map will burn if it really is inside. And he trusts his hand. "Fine," he says. "Me and 2 go. The rest hold. Anyone moves, I shoot." The door opens. 3 shadows step in. Cole backs behind the table. "Guns on the table," he says. One puts his down, shifty-eyed. The scarfed man places his slow, the other hand near the knife on his belt. The third sets his halfway. Everyone watches everyone. No one trusts. No one drops their shoulders. The air is thick as old molasses. Cole lifts his hands from the grip to show good faith. "Shut the door," he says. The one by the door pushes it. The bar drops. In half a breath, the sound of breathing changes color. The wolf inside each man shows its teeth. "Where's the map?" the scarfed man asks, eyes glued to Cole's hands. "Somewhere safe," Cole answers. "I want to know what you intend to do with it. You don't own it. The man who passed it to the girl had a rightful owner. The sheriff will confirm." The scarfed man sneers. "Sheriff? Think I fear a tin star? Around here, guns do the talking." He jerks his hand. The half-set gun is snatched up, but Cole's eyes arrive before the man's finger. He fires first. One shot. The man slams into the wall, gun skittering with a metal scrape along the boards. Cole rolls aside, flips the dining table and tilts it into a shield. The scarfed man's round hammers the tabletop. Splinters fly like rain. At the same moment, the third man, his face pocked with old scars, yanks his pistol to angle over the table's edge. The bedroom door cracks open. Alara darts like a cat, stove stick in hand. She swings hard. Crack. Bones go. The gun hand collapses. His twitching finger squeezes. The stray round pops and hisses along the floor, leaving a black scorch. He howls, drops to one knee. Alara doesn't stop. She smashes his shoulder again, knocks the gun away. It skates under the cupboard with a tinny clatter. "Good," Cole grunts, then braces and lifts the whole table like a shield and rams the scarfed man. The blow drives him back into the post. His gun falls. They crash together, fists, shoulder checks, forearms slicing the dark. Breath rasping, joints grinding. "Alara!" Cole's voice rakes. "Hold the door. Don't let any of them outside in." She snatches the broken arm man's pistol, shoves in rounds, cocks the hammer, and points at the doorway. Two shadows in the yard start to surge, but freeze at the muzzle's flash. "Don't move!" she shouts, voice trembling but firm. Inside, Cole and the scarfed man are tangled like two beasts. The scarfed man pulls a knife. Steel flashes under sifted moonlight through broken glass. He slashes down. Cole twists. The blade skims his shirt and opens a narrow red line along his side. It burns, but Cole waits for the follow-through. He seizes the man's wrist and wrenches. Crack. The knife drops. The man butts Cole's face. Sparks burst behind his eyes. The man snakes both arms around his back and tries to slam him to the floor. Cole plants his feet, shifts his hip, steals the man's momentum, and throws him over his shoulder. He hits the floorboards and the breath blasts out of him. Cole surges, pins both arms, jams his knee into the biceps, and with a skillet strapped nearby ties his wrists fast. His breath runs hot, sweat and dust and blood. "Done with one," he mutters, rolling to bind the broken-armed one moaning on the floor. Out in the yard, the gang mutters, "Hit them!" A high voice snaps. Alara trims her sight and fires. Bang! Into the porch post, wood bursts, nails ping, and the rush stalls. She keeps a rhythm. No wild shots, just hard kicks to drive them off the threshold whenever a shadow thickens at the frame. Cole drags the leader upright, pressing him close, meaning to use him to force the others to lower their guns when, bang! A bullet from the yard threads the gap and slams into the leader's chest. Hot blood floods Cole's hands. The leader crumples, eyes rolling white. "Back!" Cole barks. Both of them fall behind the table. The deputy howls, "Rake the door!" A burst chews the boards, wood foaming. Cole hooks his pistol around the edge and answers with 2 crisp shots. Bang, bang, dropping a shadow on the steps. Alara holds the doorway and fires. Bang. Skinning splinters off the sill and throwing another man backward, his oil bottle dropping. The stink of kerosene stings. A reckless one rises at the broken window. Cole boots the table's edge, slides it like a shield, crawls by the stove, pops another round to force the shooter down. How many left? Alara pants. 3, Cole says. Maybe 4. How many rounds? 3. I've got 2. They pull back behind the stove and trade a tight cadence. He snaps shots to duck heads. She rakes the threshold, smoke thick and flour dust hanging in the air. A lull. Cole flicks the cylinder. Empty. I have one. Alara swallows. She waits for the next shadow at the jam, fires the last shot. The bullet plows a long white line across the porch plank and lifts a man's hat clean off. He staggers away, and the line wavers again. Close in, Cole says, pulling her to the wall behind the stove. Stay low. Just a little longer. Outside, the deputy snarls. Burn it. The sound of cloth on glass. A match scrapes. And at that moment, a long whistle slices the night. Hooves drum. 3 crisp Colt shots, Sheriff Thorne's signature, tear the yard. Drop your guns! Put the bottle down. A man fumbles, and the bottle falls. Fire splashes and dies in the wet mud. 2 more shots. A shape tumbles from a saddle. Another flings his gun and raises his hands. A couple sprint for the scrub, only to be roped and clubbed down by deputies. Silence seeps back, broken by groans and snorting horses. Cole. Thorne's voice from the porch. You still breathing? Cole stands, sniffing powder smoke. In here. He opens the door. Lantern light fans across Thorne's face, a broad-shouldered man with salt and pepper beard and bright eyes. Good Lord. Thorne shakes his head at the scarfed leader's corpse and the 2 trussed men. You still know how to clean house? Cole smiles wearily. I'd prefer a table with fewer holes. Alara stands behind him, clutching the leather wrap. Thorne nods to her without questions. He's seasoned enough to know a wrong-timed question makes a heart retreat. Next morning, with the sun unhooking mist from the valley, the sheriff's office hums. 3 bandits in irons, 2 wounded, the rest chased into the ravines. From the broken-arm man's confession and scraps of talk, they find a makeshift pen at the desert edge. There a man has been tied for days. His name is Nathan Pike. Clothes in rags, beard wild, but eyes clear. He sees Alara enter behind Cole and Thorne. He falls still. You're alive, he says. Alara nods. She steps up, opens the leather, and hands over the paper. This is yours. I kept it. Nathan takes it, hands shaking. I owe you my life, he says, voice tight. Thorne confirms it. The map marks an old gold vein wedged in the rocks of the gorge, something a larger gang meant to seize. The story clears like sky after a storm. That afternoon, Nathan stands on the sheriff's porch looking at Alara. Girl, he says, I'll bring a crew and work that claim legal. I'll file with the state. Come with me. Take a share. You'll live soft. No saloon, no fear. He means it. Before Alara lies a smooth road. A brick house, new dresses, hot meals, money in a drawer. Cole stands beside her, silent. He won't steer a choice that isn't his. He looks at the yard that smells of them after a few weeks. The front door now patched and quiet. the dining table with its new holes, the clothesline steeped in sun. This place isn't heaven. It's a place to breathe. Ilara looks at Cole. Her eyes pass over the fresh scrape on his side where the bandage lies white. She looks at her own hands, soap-dried skin, then at the wide sky over the farm. When she speaks, her voice is steady. Mr. Nathan, I'm grateful. But I know gold drags trouble. Riches, but danger. I've run long enough. She turns to Cole. Cole, do you need a woman to cook, wash, mend, mind the house, tend the horses, and make your coffee in the morning? Someone who wants a quiet life and, if you want it too, to build a fence with you instead of chasing gold? Cole looks straight into her eyes. There is the weariness of the long road there, the smoke shadow of the night, and also a small light he hadn't expected to see again. He nods. Yes, he says, low. If you want to stay. There's cheap flour here, a well to dredge, and long afternoons. Ilara smiles. Not dazzling, clean. Nathan sighs, smiling sadly like a father watching a girl choose another road. You're strong, he says. I wish you peace. If you need anything, come to my place in town. The doors open. In the days that follow, Dry Willow talks about the shootout at Cole Hart's place. Some tellers overreach, swearing torches licked the roof beams. Some say Ilara turned she-devil and snapped a man's arm with a stove stick. A new bell goes up at the smithy, someone's gift. Sheriff Thorne sends 2 hands to help Cole fix the window. Cole replaces planks, rubs out the powder burns across the floor, the scar where the wild round skittered when the bone broke, a reminder hard to forget. Ilara sews a new curtain to cover the broken pane. She tucks the old leather packet in the bottom of the chest and locks it, not to hide a secret now, but to lay the past down. In the afternoons they plant another row of beans, draw the furrows straight. Cole laughs when his brow wriggles like a snake. Ilara wipes sweat and hands him a straight stake. Use this, she says. Things go truer. He looks at her and understands another shade of meaning. When the sun brushes the hill, they sit on the porch steps. Quiet. Peace does not arrive like a drum. It comes like a breath of wind at the nape, like 2 cups knocking softly on a table, like a small sentence that needs no answer. At night, Cole snuffs the lamp. He walks a slow circle, palm on the planed door, listening to the little bell touch with a click. Ilara folds a shirt on the long bench and watches the coals glow. Are you going into town tomorrow? She asks. Just to tell Thorne about a few tracks near the creek, Cole says. And you? I'll tidy the house, put up jam, and I'll move that old hat. Hang it beside yours, not alone anymore. Cole stands behind her without a word, but his chest eases. Something has dropped into its right place. Weeks later, rain pours. They push the sash and watch water gather into a stream across the yard. Cole tells Ilara small bits from the years on the road, a dog in Santa Fe that knew how to lift latches, a saloon keeper in Abilene with a fist that could lay a man out, a wanted man who put down his gun because he heard his child cry. Ilara tells him about the other girls at the hall, about the wish for a real wooden cupboard for dishes, about an autumn persimmon that sheds leaves red as fire. Those stories have no gunshots. They smell like baking, sun-dried laundry, and rain in wood. They are the lumber of a true roof. One morning, Sheriff Thorne stops by. He sets a small parcel on the table. From Nathan, he says. A thank you. Inside, a few new gold coins, a good kitchen knife, a note. for the one who kept her word. Alara reads and smiles tight. She drops 2 coins in a jar, hangs the knife on the rack, and slips the note into an old Bible in the drawer, not to hide it, but to remember. Next season, the wind softens. They climb the hill behind the house and look over the greening valley. Cole plants a new stake, taller. Here we'll build the chicken coop, he says. We'll start with 3. Alara nods. And I'll plant mint. For tea. Cole nods. And someday, maybe you'll tell the little ones how you broke a bandit's arm with a kitchen stick. Alara laughs. I'll say you taught me not to fear the hand that holds the gun. No, Cole shakes his head. You taught yourself. At dusk, they walk down again. Alara goes first, hem brushing wet grass. Cole follows, bucket in hand, towing a pebble down the slope and listening to its cheerful click-clack. On the porch, 2 hats hang side by side. The wind nudges, and they touch with the lightest tap. That sound is small, but enough for a man who has quit the drifting life to know he's touched something that lasts. And enough for a woman who has stopped running to know that from now on, her mornings will start with the smell of coffee, the cluck of hens, and a familiar call. Up, fence work's waiting. The west is still wide. The wind still changes season. Somewhere men still shoot, burn, and run. But on a small farm at the edge of Dry Willow, 2 people choose otherwise. They plant beans, mend shirts, plane doors, tell stories, and let old bullet scars remind them that peace always has a price. They paid it with that night's courage, with trust placed right, with hands clenched together in the dark. And each night, before blowing out the lamp, Alara whispers a short sentence like a prayer only she hears. Thank you for stopping at the right time, in the right place, with the right person. Cole doesn't hear, but he feels it. He lays the gun, once part of his arm, deeper into the chest, and shuts the lid. Beside it, 2 cheap porcelain cups sit mouth down on a towel, just washed. 2 cups waiting for morning. Another day without gunfire. Another day for them. If you've made it this far, it means you listened to the entire story. Thank you so much. If this tale spoke to you, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. If something didn't quite land or felt off, leave your feedback so we can craft even better stories for you next time. Every action you take helps us more than you know. Thanks again for staying till the end. Love you 3000.